Hey pimps, doomers, realists, and ladies. March 16th, vlogging for my sanity. What's happening in the world still comes out next week. If you're new here, it's a program where I summarize a week's worth of news headlines in less than 15 minutes. So stay tuned. However, I can't help not mention how dismal our predicament is, as it is intruding my frame of mind lately. Of course, I understand that I'm entitled to nothing, not comfort, security, pleasure, happiness, a loving partner. The universe doesn't owe me anything. However, I still need to point out the fact that we are in the maximum greed phase of capitalism, where one man is worth 188 billion, while a class of serfs work non-stop for unattainable things like housing, food, security. You can pretty much throw the Maslow's hierarchy up on its head and figure that there is no hope of chance of reprieve, all right? No way of organizing, getting people together, forming a community, unions. You will be squashed by a militarized police force or security force hired by Big Oil, Nike, Apple, who are then supported by their local police and local civilians who require things like diapers, food on the shelves, and everything else you can imagine, because we can't sacrifice our comfort and security, even for the near term. It resembles an addicted patient who is experiencing withdrawals. So that's where we're at. And if you're a woman, you're probably tens of thousands of dollars in college debt. If you have children, you're checked out. You are working non-stop all the time. Considering inflation or greedflation is at a record high, then the cost of raising a child is basically infinite. And I don't have much to say to you as in terms of advice on how to fix the situation, because there simply isn't a way. It used to be that you could go to the powers that be, target them, enact change, organize, but they live in their own enclaves in private jets and high rises, out of reach with security guards. And the climate will continue to break down, and there will be even more extreme weather events causing the housing market to experience a bankruptcy of insurance rates. Half of the homes in America are threatened at the moment. If this seems dismal to you, that's the point. It is. We don't want reruns and redos. We don't want this system anymore, at least if you are not ecocidal or have some sense of conscience. The social contract is no longer valid. If you work hard, you do what's right, you follow the rules, you will get nowhere. And I speak to everyone in my millennial generation and younger. You will get nowhere. You will pay an enormous interest rate for housing. You will work nonstop and still find yourself nowhere. It will be already set up and rigged, where you were born and what zip code, how much money your parents had, what college they paid for you to go to, who you knew. It's not what you know. Again, I'm not entitled and narcissistic to think that I'm important, something to say. I'm just stating the facts like I did since the start of this channel in 2020, when I woke up and realized that we weren't stopping our suicidal rat race into oblivion with extreme fossil fuel consumption. and that things weren't going to be getting for the better. And I would say that's been so far true. The 2020s have been marked by a period of already unrest, inequality, greedflation, skyrocketing cost of living. It's daunting. Let alone you have some unknown car expense, or emergency expense come up. It's tough. It's probably one of the worst times to be for men and women. To be alone, alienated, atomized in your own bubble, unable to connect with other human beings. Not proud of it, not happy with it. So, I have my plans to immerse myself in nature and community. The other way around. But to the rest of you, you're not alone. What you're feeling is valid. It hasn't always been this way. Or maybe it has, but it's on steroids. Could you quantify the French aristocrats' wealth compared to the serfs back then, or early 20th century Rockefeller and Carnegie days to what the average American was feeling during the time? I don't think it compares to the level of inequality. And when you have Russia's rigged election with Putin, an evil person, saying that America is one of the most unequal places, then that's really something wrong. But it's funny how people like Republicans who claim to be vote for those in power that keep them enslaved, maybe because they like routine and consistency. A rat cannot see past its own cage. We're animals, driven by our instincts and desires, fears. Only now it's confused and exacerbated by a broken, unsustainable system that we call capitalism. And no other ism will fit. It's too late, no going back. Take care of yourself, as I'll do the same. I appreciate your company. Guess I'm a YouTube celebrity now. Doesn't really feel that way. I'm not sure how it's supposed to feel. But if you wonder why I'm always alone that's the nature of the times right now. Many men are alone right now. And sure, I can reach out and say hello and ask how they're doing. My friends, they're all over the world. And everyone else does that. But that's it. If we're not doing that, we're working non-stop. Just having a few hours of reprieve to catch our breath, have a glass of scotch, and remember a time that our parents had when life was actually affordable and attainable, and remember that our future at present rate doesn't exist. I bid you farewell, and I'll see you next week. See ya.